So on my quest for finding a light and easy setup for when I go on my photo walks, decided I wanted to test this very nifty little combination with the Canon R8 and the very tiny pancake lens, the RF28 F2.8 lens. And when I'm carrying around this tiny setup, it kind of reminds me of whenever I take my Fujifilm X106 camera out. It feels like it's almost pocketable. If I had a thicker jacket, it's very light. I barely notice it when it's hanging around my neck. And I've been quite happy with the images I've managed to make with this camera. When I started driving from home, we had beautiful weather. It was a clear blue sky, 15 degrees Celsius. But I noticed as I started getting closer to the coast that we had this quite heavy fog coming in from the ocean, just rolling in, and now it's getting quite hazy out here, and some of the ocean views I was planning to photograph is covered in mist, and it's getting a bit dark, so I'll just stick to what I normally do when I'm up here. I walk around shooting pictures of bunkers and other fortifications from the Second World War. And also some of these rock formations is also quite interesting. So I found when I stop the lens down to around 4 to 5.6 f-stops, I get very nice and sharp images. So quite happy, and also kind of surprised by how good this lens actually is, because the lens itself, the glass is so tiny, and almost looks like a phone lens because it's so tiny. There's a lot of cows grazing up here now. And there's even a big ox. So I think I'll just walk quietly past. So there is one thing I've been complaining about whenever I have compared the R8 to the R6 Mark II, and that is the tiny battery inside of this camera, the R8. and just now it started indicating low battery, and so the camera is about to die. But I can't really blame the camera this time, because I realized I forgot to recharge it, to charge it after the last time I brought this camera out. So I'll be heading back to the car, and I think I have a spare battery there, and we'll see how the weather turns out. If I'll continue my photo walk today. Might be continuing to use the R8, or I might also use the R6 for the rest of the evening. So we're finally in a full spring. With a lot of green colors everywhere you look. So it's the next day, and I'm continuing on my testing of the tiny little RF 28mm f2.8 lens. And today I have attached it to my Canon R6 Mark II, which is a heavier, more bulky camera, but still it's quite a tiny and light setup. So yesterday I was out by the coast. Today I've driven a bit more inland, and I've come to this woodland area with a lot of mountains all around, and I thought I'd just go for a little evening walk. It is getting close to 7 p.m. It is a very nice evening, and the temperature is almost 20 degrees Celsius, and that is a very nice relief, because we've been having quite cold weather lately, and especially we have this very cold northern wind. Temperatures around 10 degrees, ice cold winds. So this is a nice opportunity to just be out in the nature, enjoying the quiet. So I'm following this trail going through this forest area, and if you continue, you will go all the way around, and you will end up at the top of that mountain that you can see in there, in between all the trees. That is Vårlivarden mountain. There's an amazing view from up there. So I'm getting a bit of vertigo standing at the edge of this cliff. You have the drop all the way down to the valley with the mountain farm deep down below, and this part of the trail is mostly climbing on quite slippery rocks. Look at this view. Oh my god. Still have a little while to climb before I'm up there. And the wind is picking up. I can finally see the top of the mountain with a cairn up there. There's another smaller cairn up here. So in my eagerness to find a minimalist vlogging setup for this photo walk, I forgot one essential detail, and that is I should have brought at least some water and maybe some snacks or food, because this has been quite a heavy climb, and I wasn't really prepared to go all the way up to the top of this mountain, because it is pretty late in the evening, and I think we will, when the sun gets lower on the horizon, we will get more wind, and the walk back down to the valley will surely be another trial. But this view is absolutely stunning. So I finally reached the top of the mountain, and you can see the cairn behind me, and on every mountain top in Norway you will always find these cairns, or these stone pyramids, and I think they were built as a reminder of the old signal fires that he used to build on hilltops and mountain summits, so they could light a signal fire if the village or the valley was being attacked. So the sun disappeared almost immediately after I reached the summit, and the wind is also picking up, so I don't think I'll be staying up here for very long. Just want to grab a few pictures before I start going back down. So Vårlivatn is not exactly the tallest mountain in Norway. It's only 387 meters above sea level. But wow, the view is amazing, and you can see the North Sea over there, and over here you can see one of the fjords going in between the mountains there, and there's a lot of tiny little ponds and lakes. So all these hiking trails up here in the hillsides and the mountains, they are marked, and you have these signs pointing the direction to other mountain tops, other hiking destinations. I'm going down to Myrland, where I think that was the name of the place I parked my car. 1.3 kilometers downhill. So it's of course it's hard climbing up these steep mountain sides, but sometimes I find that it's almost harder going back down, because you have used up all your powers getting to the top of the mountains, and when you're getting back down, you're constantly trying to brake or to slow down your pace, because you don't want to slip and fall, and you use a lot of muscle power just to work against the gravity. And it's actually, I think I read somewhere that most accidents actually happens on the way back down, because you kind of want to get back down. You're trying to speed up. You're maybe not paying as much attention as you were when you were climbing up the hillsides. So I just try to be careful, and hope I can remember what direction I came up from. But luckily, you have this. You find this red paint on many of the rocks here, but they are mainly there to point you in the right direction when you're going uphill, and they're not always as visible when you're going back down. But I do remember walking past these two smaller currents here, or cairns. I'm actually not quite sure how to pronounce that word. In Norwegian we call them varder. And it's not easy to see on camera, but when I look at all the other mountains around here, I can see many of those cairns or cairns on all the mountain tops and hilltops. There's actually only up here on this plateau, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and including the one on the top, 5 cairns. So I know I'm walking in the right direction at least. So I suddenly remember that I went on this hike to talk about the RF 28mm F2.8 lens, and I've been making a lot of images between my climbing and my vlogging, but I'm quite happy with this very compact setup, and of course this setup is quite a bit heavier compared to yesterday when I was out with the R8, but if I compare the two cameras, the one thing I notice is I think both the screen and the viewfinder is a bit brighter and just better than on the R8. But the R8 is still a great camera, and the screen and viewfinder is it's very good. But I notice that it seems a bit brighter and a bit more easy to see what I'm photographing on this camera. And this lens is so tiny that it doesn't add any weight at all to the camera, and I've been wearing it around my neck all the way while I was climbing up here, because I didn't bring any backpack or even a sling bag, and the sling bag was where I was supposed to carry my snacks and my water, so that's quite a bummer, because I'm thirsty and hungry. Oh well. So there are some pretty dark and heavy clouds rolling in now, and I hope we don't get any rain, because none of these cameras are weather sealed. I'm filming on the DJI Pocket 3, and the R6 itself is weather sealed, but this lens is not. So but I don't think we will get any rain. But I do notice that the light is fading, so it is not optimal for photography. So this part of the trail is a bit sketchy, because you have all these trees that just are waiting to fall down. just leaning heavily over the trail. The forest floor is very slippery, and I'm walking down a very, very steep hill now. It's not easy to see on camera, and because of all these trees I'm walking in between, but just gotta be careful not to slip and fall here. So I'm back now in the lower woodlands, and I'm walking here between all this blueberry heather. It's very green. So nature has changed these last few weeks. We're in full set spring now. As I'm slowly working my way back to the car, I've been thinking about the 28mm focal length and what I think of it. I think it's great for most types of landscape photography, and I can also imagine it being a very nice travel lens if you're walking around in a big city and you want to photograph all the buildings and the people and just capture the environment. But I do notice that I've grown very fond of my 24 to. I just gotta cross over this bog without falling. So what was I saying? I've grown very fond of my 24 to 105mm f4 lens. I like having the being able to zoom in and to compose my image, because like when I was on a mountain hike like this, you can't always take a step back or forwards to recompose your frame, because then you will fall off the edge of the cliff. So and I was standing at the edge of that one rock, looking down at that mountain, tiny little mountain farm. I wish I could have had a zoom lens so I could zoom in and get a closer view. And also when I was walking through the woods here, I suddenly noticed a squirrel climbing in one of the trees. I grabbed the camera, tried to grab a shot, but it was too far away. Had I had the 105mm focal length, I think I could have grabbed a decent shot of it. But I wouldn't like to have had that long and heavy lens hanging around my neck as I was climbing those hills, and especially when I was going back down, because I actually had to sit on my butt and slide my way down some of the steepest parts of that hillside, and I could feel the camera dangling around my neck, and I had to grab it a couple of times to avoid it from slamming into the rock behind me. And I imagine had I had the 24 to 105 millimeter, it would have been difficult, and I would risk damaging, potentially breaking a very expensive lens. So I actually think this lens was possibly the best choice for this kind of hike. I could have possibly have made some nice images with a 50 millimeter F1.8 lens. But this is also a very tiny, very light lens, but not as tiny as this little thing. So I'm very happy with this setup, and I'm quite eager to get back home and have a look at the raw files and see if I got any images worth keeping. Only problem was I wish I had better light conditions, because it was getting pretty flat and boring, especially after I reached the top of the mountain. Well, I have reached the parking lot here at Myrland. I parked here and I walked this trail all the way up to Vålivärden, 387 meters above sea level. So before I start driving back home, I just want to sum up my impressions after today's and yesterday's photo walk with the 28 millimeter pancake lens. It is a very good lens. I was happy with many of the images I captured yesterday when I was out by the coast, photographing bunkers and hills, and I'm eager to see what kind of images I captured today. I think the lighting conditions were more challenging today, but all in all, I think I managed to grab some nice images of the views from up on the mountaintop. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend getting this lens if you want a light and compact setup, especially on the R8. It is so compact, so easy to just hang around your neck, and you almost forget you are carrying a camera. But even on the R6 Mark II, it makes the whole setup so easy to carry around. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.